Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Emerald City Sports, the podcast. Although we would much rather like to do this under better circumstances, as there's been a big thing happening in the NFL right now, and it's not good. So we'll have to get into that right away. As yesterday, well, on Monday night the game was Cincinnati Bengals versus Buffalo Bills, and at around 5:50 left in the first quarter, Damar Hamlin, safety for the Buffalo Bills, made a tackle and got up, collapsed right to the ground as paramedics and medical staff just rushed him, um, and they had to give him CPR, and had to administer many other things to get him to be revived, and it was just wow. I mean, one of the most unprecedented things that has happened in the NFL for a very long time. So, I just want to get you guys' thoughts on this. Obviously, it's something that's really rough to talk about, but um, well, I just want to hear your thoughts, Josh.
I mean, the most important thing about this is just we hope he's okay. And I just feel bad for all the players, like having not his family, his friend, but also the teams who had to go through this. And also because the NFL was like almost was like let's just screw it. Let's just bring them back on the field after 5 minutes. Like this is like a deeply traumatic situation. And the NFL really just wants to prioritize profits. And it took an agreement between both teams, not even the NFL. The NFL did nothing. It was both teams that decided to agree to postpone the game. I feel like this, I mean, yes, who cares? Who really cares about game schedule? But I feel like we should screw it, push the season back a week, give everybody time because this not only impacted Bills and Bengals fans, this impact the whole league. Let them rest, let them recover. Hopefully by then we'll see Hamlin's okay because he's still in critical condition right now. And just hope.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's in critical condition at UC Medical Center in the University of Cincinnati right now. The last update was that they were able to bring his oxygen down to 50%, which is good news, and they had his vitals back to normal, which is also good news. Jacob, what did you think of, I mean, the support from the NFL players, the fans, and everything? It's something like a unity that we haven't seen in a long time.
I'm very happy, with what the Bengals did too. Also wanting to stop the game. I mean, it was a very traumatic experience for, everybody watching the game and obviously the players playing in it. It's obviously not good, and we don't want that stuff to happen. The NFL, they should have just like stopped the game at that point. It was not. That's not like it's not good, and they should also be more careful with players and what's going on. Like a lot of NFL players have been getting badly. I mean, that injury I feel like wasn't really football related. I feel I feel I feel still I still feel like the NFL should be more careful like with Tua's injury and Naeem Hines, Tua, like they almost collapsed. A few other players unconscious. They play yeah, I think the NFL just needs to, be way more careful, and yeah, it took them a while before Damar Hamlin got, medics on the field to help him and all that. So I just feel like they should be a little bit more prepared, more safe, just in case that stuff happens.
They had to try to resuscitate him and revive him, and they had to do it twice. As right after the hit, he went right into cardiac arrest, and um obviously the worry with the doctors and the medical staff was big. You could see it on their faces. You could see it on all of the players' faces, especially the Buffalo Bills, because that's a teammate for them, and that's one of their um brothers, like a fraternity for them. And they're all in it together, and you could see it on their faces. And I mean, it was good to see, the unity from the whole league. As I mean, everyone got together, everyone was praying for him, and fans were donating to his foundation, which originally had a goal of 2,500, and now it's, I believe, past 5 million. So I mean, there are things like these where like everyone becomes united, and it's honestly really heartwarming to see that everyone's, standing together and hoping that Damar Hamlin's okay. Um, yeah, this does raise concerns about how the NFL and its players the player safety, because I mean this is I mean this has happened a lot of times this year, especially with Tua Tagovailoa, and I mean this was like uh, made it 10 times worse. You know, a lot of people criticize the NFL for not stopping the game earlier, for trying to get the players back on 5 minutes in 5 minutes, and people thought, I mean, a lot of people have some vehement opinions about the NFL and how it just really wants to make a lot of money. So this all just raises a lot of questions, and I mean, at the end of the day, we need to remember, like, even though these NFL players are athletes, you can't forget that they're humans too. They're just like us. And they're out here living the dream, but that dream has a lot of risks with it. And I mean, they're there to entertain us, but at the end of the day, we got to remember they're human beings too, and we shouldn't be expecting them to do so many things. So like the next time, you might get mad at a fantasy football player. The next time you get mad at a player for screwing your team over or something like that, just remember, they're humans too. They make mistakes just like the rest of us. So I mean, it was a really rough scene on Monday night, and we're all hoping Damar Hamlin will be okay. Any other words, you guys?
Nope.
So, yeah, that was one of the most unprecedented things we've seen in the NFL for a very long time. And hopefully Damar Hamlin is okay, as we get more updates throughout this week. And this is, going to change the NFL. They announced Bills Bengals won't happen this week, which does affect week 18, but that doesn't really matter at this point because we can just push sports to the side. It doesn't really matter because all that matters right now is Damar Hamlin's well-being. And we just hope he's okay. Now we can let's talk about the Seahawks a little bit. Um, Now they're playing, well, first off, they beat the Jets 23-6 in I would say a pretty good game. Much better than we have seen from them in the last few games. They won 23-6, without what Tyler Lockett for a lot of it, Will Disley on IR, Marquise Goodwin on IR. So I mean they did pretty darn good. The running game was great. Kenneth Walker, 133 yards. Josh, what do you think of this game?
I think we just got the job done. We were able to actually score in our first possession, and we're able to at least get the ball moving for the uh, first half. Defense amazing as always. But I feel like this game wasn't like it didn't feel, but it was just like we got the job done because that's what we need to do, or else if we're going to hopefully make the playoffs.
Yeah. Jacob, the defense just really showed out. They only held the Jets to 6 points. What did you think of the defense?
Oh, I thought the defense, they played pretty well. I mean, they have been, I feel like, for the past few weeks. They just been stopping, getting turnovers, all that. But mostly what I liked from the defense was just being able to stop the run game, not a lot of big runs. I think what played into that also with the Jets is that Brees Hall is out. So, and they were running, rookies on Knight and what was his name? Michael Carter. I mean, I don't think they're as great backs as, Brees Hall. Not someone that we really had to worry about as much that game. So they just stopped the run, not able to get anywhere. And passing wise, I mean, we have great DBs. We honestly should just commit to a full run defense because we have great enough DBs that they'll be able to stop the passing. And especially in man coverage, I feel like Woolen in man coverage might be one of the best cornerbacks in the league for sure.
Something that really stood out was the tight ends. Noah Fant, 2 catches, 40 yards. Colby Parkins had a pretty good day. 5 catches, 36 yards and a touchdown, which was a dart from Geno Smith. And Tyler Mabry, who was called up from the practice squad, he got his first NFL catch, which ended up being a touchdown. So, I mean, the tight ends really stepped up, especially with Will Dissly gone. It was nice to see, because DK got, as much as I hate to say it, he got locked up by Sauce. And the tight ends really stepped up. They really contributed, and it really helped, and it paid off in the end for the Seahawks. So now playoff implications are on the line. The Seahawks will host the Bobby Wagner-led 5-11 Los Angeles Rams in the season finale. And the big question about this is really, I mean, the NFL being biased, because the Seahawks will play the Rams at 1:25 p.m., but later that night, it will be the Lions and the Packers. So if you don't know about the playoff implications right now, I'll run through it really quick. So the Seahawks would get in if they win and the Packers lose. The Lions would get in if the Seahawks lose and the Lions win. And the Packers control their own destiny. If they win, they're in. So this is really a disadvantage for the Seahawks because if they beat the Rams, the Lions are automatically out before they even start playing Sunday Night Football. And this could mean that the Lions really have nothing to play for that night. They might throw the game and let the Packers win. But Coach Dan Campbell of the Detroit Lions said that no matter what, they're still going to play. I mean, they could be a playoff spoiler for the Packers, which could help us, but the circumstances do not look good for the Seahawks right now. Jacob, what do you think of this scheduling?
I was a little upset about it at first, thinking, it was a little unfair to the Seahawks. They're not, get the fair chance. But I was listening to more about like the Lions, like you said, Dan Campbell. Yeah, I don't think the Lions are just gonna give up. I think they're gonna try hard no matter what. I mean, sure, they might not make the playoffs, might have not as much, motivation, but it's still gonna be a tough game. I mean, Jared Goff is playing very great. Same with Amon-Ra St. Brown. Their team is really nice, in my opinion. And if the Seahawks don't win, well, I shouldn't say if the Seahawks don't win. No matter what, I want the Lions to win. No matter what. Like, if the Seahawks don't make the playoffs, I think the Lions deserve it more than the Packers.
Yeah, I mean, the Lions have been working really hard. I mean, everybody loves Dan Campbell because, he's a really passionate coach. And I think it's common knowledge now that people don't like the Packers, especially Aaron Rodgers. And it really seemed like the NFL was trying to help Rodgers get into the playoffs. Josh, what do you think about the scheduling?
I just think I think this was like an actual bias. Like there was other teams that they could have picked. Like they specifically picked this one, taking like the risk that the Seahawks would lose and would make it a win or go home game. But there's we're favored against the Rams. We're much better than the Rams, and the Rams are out and probably want to lose to get a okay. I was gonna say better draft pick, but then I forgot that they don't have a first round pick. Um, but there's other scenarios that they could have picked. Bengals, Ravens. If the Bengals uh lose after NFL does whatever happens, then that Bengals Ravens could have been winner against AFC South. The Jaguars Titans actually is a winner go home game. Whoever wins is in and wins the division. Losers out. Like you actually have like the same type of game without needing something in the afternoon slot to go right.
I mean, yeah, Titans Jaguars really could have been in that Sunday night spot. Well, yeah, like you said, it's for the NFC South. It's win or go home. But the NFL, like we said earlier, they care a lot about profit. They care a lot about ratings. And Aaron Rodgers playing on prime time is obviously going to get them, the ratings that they want because, Aaron Rodgers is a big name in the NFL. And so obviously they're going to put them there. Now, what you said about the Rams and their draft pick, the Rams currently, I believe, have a top 5 or top 10, somewhere up in the top up there draft pick, but it's the Lions now. That's the Lions draft pick. And so the weird thing about this is if the Seahawks win, one, the Lions are eliminated, but it could possibly give them a higher draft pick because the Rams lost. And I mean, if the Lions want to build on the young core that they have right now, I mean, I don't think they'd be really mad if they got eliminated but got a higher draft pick. Although I know Dan Campbell, obviously cares a lot about, winning, getting in the playoffs. But I mean, there's always next year for that, right? I mean, if you want to build on, he can build on the Lions team. And they're getting there. They're really close. And so one more piece in that top first round pick, it could really be big for him.
Mhm.
But I mean, we're looking at this game. I'm honestly a little nervous because as much as we're better than the Los Angeles Rams and yes, I know we beat them last time at SoFi, I still feel afraid because the Rams have our number. Even if, their team is basically blown up, even if they don't have Aaron Donald, even if they don't have Cooper Kupp, even if they don't have Matthew Stafford, I still feel a little nervous. I don't know about you guys, but I don't know if it's just me, but I mean, I want to know, do you guys feel nervous about this game, Josh?
Not at all. I mean, their quarterback is Baker Mayfield, Mr. Progressive Commercial Guy. Yes, they beat up Russell Wilson with 50 points on Nickelodeon, but like it's the Broncos. Like that's really the only big thing he's done. And no sweat. The only sweat's gonna be Sunday night. Unless NFL come on, change it, please, last minute. I know you and probably the rules won't let you, but just change it.
And Jacob, how do you feel about this game?
I don't think it's gonna be that hard. I mean, their defense is gonna be pretty good, but we just got to get things working early. Like last game, obviously we did good in the beginning. That's all we need to do. We don't really need to do that great in the end. All you just got to do is get that upper, you know, get to the upper level and have the upper hand on them. Don't even really need to try at all in the second half when they're trying too hard to get where we are. It honestly doesn't really like stress me.
Eh,
And the Lions, Packers, the Lions, even if they don't make the playoffs, they'll be laughing so hard if they are uh, messing up the Packers for their playoffs. That would be pretty funny. Plus, that would get rid of probably Aaron Rodgers from their division.
I mean, Rodgers did sign an extension, so we'll see if he pulls out of it. Um, but I mean, yeah, you're right. I mean, the Lions and the Packers hate each other. They're division rivals. So I mean, even if the Lions are eliminated, I think they would really love to play spoiler and, ruin the hopes and dreams of Packers fans. And I mean, fingers crossed, hopefully that's what they do, but because the Seahawks really need if they want to make it to the playoffs. But I mean, at the end of the day, 8-8, which is Seahawks' current record, I mean, 8-8 is still much better than what we expected to be. We expected to be like at the Rams level right now, 5-11. But the fact that we're even in playoff contention is already impressive enough. That's already a win for me. I mean, like, I don't know about you guys, but throughout this season, whenever we lost, I just didn't really seem to care. I felt like, this is what we thought things would go. And I mean, I didn't really seem that upset. I mean, coming down to this last week, what are your guys' thoughts about the entire season, Jacob?
Thoughts on the entire season? Honestly, great season. If we don't win this game, I could care less. I thought they were gonna go like 6-11, 5-12, something like that. I did not have high hopes for them, And I thought they're gonna have Drew Lock starting at quarterback. I didn't even think Gino would be even, even be talked about at the starting position. But he's pulled through, Pro Bowler. I mean, not much better than that, except for MVP, which he
Or a
has
Super Bowl ring. Or
or
a
a
Super
Super
Bowl
Bowl
ring.
ring.
But I
But
mean, yeah.
he's doing great. The entire team's doing great. Big surprise from, Woolen coming out there. It's just awesome that the Seahawks have gotten so far. And just the fact that they're even fighting for a playoff spot. I did not see the Seahawks even fighting for a playoff spot in like the next few years, just because whole rebuild process. But I guess now it's just a retool. And you know what? Even if we don't win and we don't make the playoffs, that still ups our draft pickup. Maybe we can get a steal DB or D lineman, whoever in the later round. Maybe I hope Keely Ringo drops to us, cornerback out of Georgia. I think he's the best corner in the entire draft, best DB in the entire draft. So I mean, time will tell. I mean, Josh, switching it to you.
Okay, my guy Geno Smith did it. He was able to beat the Broncos. I feel like that was the most impressive highlight of this entire season. And I agree with Jacob. Yes, if we do miss the playoffs, that's completely fine. But we have great memories. We have a great team that we can build on. Yes, those losses hurt, but at least we're actually close. Like, yes, they were heartbreaking losses most of the time, but we were able to stay until the last seconds of the game. We got young talent. We got a bunch of draft picks from a highway robbery of the Broncos, and we're still relevant, which I'm super happy about.
Yeah, I mean, if those those one score games went our way, I mean, we'd be a powerhouse right now. But even with that, I mean, we're not gonna complain. 8-8 is a lot better than what we thought we'd do. We thought, we'd be at the bottom of the barrel. We thought we'd, just get what, 2 top 5 picks. I mean, the best part about this is, I mean, we're guaranteed a top 5 pick, and obviously, John Schneider, Pete Carroll, they're gonna take a good look at those college prospects, and hopefully they find a good one, because even with this team being able to contend, there's still some holes to fix. And I mean, at the end of the day, much better than what we all thought we would do. So I mean, overall, great season for the Seahawks. I feel like there are going to be fans out there who are going to be way too excited. I mean, yeah, all of Seattle thought, you know, we're going to suck this year, but once we started winning, everyone's expectations got way back up here again. And once we started losing, they're all like, "Oh, we suck. Fire Pete. Bench Gino," stuff like that. I mean, if you're going to stick to a prediction of the year, keep that prediction. Don't get your hopes up too high, because I mean, at the end of the day, this isn't the Russell Wilson-led Seahawks and the Legion of Boom like the days of old. I mean, they're getting there. They have a nucleus, but I mean, it's gonna take some time. So don't get your hopes up too high,
Yeah.
because they've still got some work to do. So that's gonna wrap up the Seahawks stuff.
Oh yeah.
Josh,
Wait, can I say something real
yeah,
quick?
go ahead.
Speaking of not sticking to a prediction, I'm definitely not sticking to one of my hot take / predictions, and we're just not going to talk about that, okay?
Which one? Which one? You talking about the
Do you
Justin
know
Jefferson one?
No, not of course sticking with that one. I'm never backing
After
out of that
even
one.
after he got absolutely locked up by Jair Alexander. He
The
got
Vikings did not care. The
he
Vikings did
got gritty.
absolutely
He
not.
got grittied on. Like, personally, I would not take that kind of disrespect.
Kirk Cousins was just
Okay,
selling,
yeah, it's true. Kirk Cousins can't play anything good
and
unless it's a one Eastern game.
but you know exactly the other
Yeah,
thing, the other prediction. Do not mention it. We're just gonna go right past that.
keep going with the hot takes, Jacob. It's great. It's great. We like seeing somebody be wrong.
Okay,
We're just
we're done
kidding.
with
We're
the
just kidding.
Seahawks now, correct?
Yeah. I mean, unless you got anything else to say, both of you.
Hot take time.
Here,
Boom.
oh boy. Here we go.
Hot take.
Uh-oh.
The University of Washington Huskies are gonna be a top 5 college football team this upcoming
No
season.
way. No way.
Whoa.
No way.
Buy or
Okay,
sell.
I'm gonna
Buy
make you
or
feel better.
sell.
Okay, Josh, I'm gonna make you feel better. Oregon State's gonna be in the college football playoffs
Lie.
because
No chance.
you
No
know
chance.
that's definitely not because you know what happened with the college football playoffs, right? They made
Oh
it
yeah, that is
12
true.
teams.
Yeah.
They'll be
I
the
think
12th team.
Geez, man.
Wow.
I think Huskies
Hey,
will end
we
up top
we
5.
practically neutralized the Texas Longhorns in the Alamo Bowl, okay? That was pretty impressive, okay? I mean, like Penix didn't play like, top dog that he always does, but we still pulled out with a win. That's all that matters. Defense stepped up. I mean, it wasn't a shootout like we thought it would be, but we won. That's all that matters. Alamo Bowl champs.
I mean,
It's
let
just
me
great.
let me use the same reasoning as you did. You're like, oh yeah, yeah. At least we're Alamo Bowl champ. But remember, like the Florida team that the Oregon State beat up, Texas did have their top 2 running backs out,
That is
which
true.
Jacob talked about
That is
all
true.
last week. Was going to
The
be the
news
most
broke out
impactful
right
play of the
after
game.
we
It was,
stopped. The news broke out right after we stopped recording too. That was funny.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
So
yeah,
keep going, Josh. Keep going.
and the Texas was able to keep it close without their top 2 running backs. I mean, well, I think
I
yeah,
think
you
I
guys
think
pulled the win.
I think our
But I
defense
mean,
could have.
so did
I
us.
think I think our defense could have stopped Bijan. I mean, the way they were playing, I think they
Mm-hmm.
could have stopped Bijan. I mean, they were on
Yeah,
a roll. They were on a roll, against Texas. So we'll see.
for sure.
Maybe since it's no longer North versus South of the Pac-12 championship. Maybe we'll end up with an Oregon State versus UW Pac-12 championship. That would actually be kind of fun. And then
It would be fun.
once UW beats Oregon State, we can laugh at Josh. That would be fun. Or if, the unlikely happens and Oregon State somehow wins, then I guess Josh could laugh at us.
We'll still have our yearly matchup. We'll still have this next year. We'll be in Corvallis.
Hey, Josh, we whooped you
So we'll
guys
see what
last
happens.
time. We whooped you guys last time, and you were right there at Husky Stadium to watch the Oregon State
Okay,
beat
that
the
wasn't
State.
that wasn't a whooping. That was
Okay,
a
okay,
whooping. You won the game on a last second field goal after you turned off the lights.
okay. I might have exaggerated that a little,
Penix
but
wasn't even
Yeah,
doing anything
yes,
the
you
entire
did.
game.
We
He
were-
was just yawning. He was just yawning. He was
we're
half
gonna be
awake.
back. We're gonna be back, and we're gonna be even better. We still have Penix. We still have McMillan. We still have Odunze. We still have Polk. We still have so many guys, and we're just gonna be on fire, Josh.
Mhm.
Watch out. Watch
Okay,
out for
yeah,
the dogs.
fine.
Watch out for the
Let's
dogs.
okay.
We'll see what happens.
Another
I feel like
scary
or-
team in the Pac-12.
okay. Jacob, you can go.
No, you go. You go. This time.
I would go. I'm gonna go to this. You should stop me because I would go on a full on rant about the
Okay, go on a
Beavers, and I'm
full.
just gonna do
Okay,
that
I'll let you do that.
later.
Okay,
No, I'm
I'll give you time for
good.
that. So let me
I'm
just go
good.
real
I'm good.
quick.
I'm
Let
good.
me just
Jacob,
go.
go ahead. Go ahead.
I'll just go real
I'll
quick.
just leave you
So I'll
guys.
give you some time.
This would
Okay.
be like Stephen A versus Michael Irvin on
I
First
am
Take.
so scared of Colorado. I used to just hate on
Okay,
Colorado.
just because Coach Prime is the coach, that doesn't mean. Look, I mean, okay, I get it. His son transferred, the top
Shadier
player
Sanders is so good.
transferred,
Travis
but
Hunter's
I mean,
so
it's
good.
Colorado. Once
That
they
doesn't
start,
matter. It's a complete different team.
once they
He's telling all the players on Colorado to enter the transfer portal, getting
once
all
they
the
s-
Jackson State guys
once
who
they
barely
st-
even tried.
once they start winning games, then maybe. But right now, they're all hype. It's all just because Deion Sanders is their coach. Like,
No, it's not. It's because they got Travis Hunter, and
okay,
his son is one of the best
yes, the
quarterbacks. Shadier
players are
Sanders.
good. But
They're
once I start
crazy.
seeing them like destroy Pac-12 teams, then I'll be convinced they're good. But right now, I think they're all just hype. Okay, I mean all the media's like what just drooling over them, like, oh, Coach Prime, oh, Colorado, they're so great. Come on. Like, yeah, don't forget about, UW, don't forget about Oregon State, don't forget about all the other Pac-12 teams here. This is like the first time Colorado's really been relevant for a long time in the Pac-12, okay? That's just my take, but I mean, I feel like the whole Coach Prime thing is all hype. Like I know, I get it. He was good at Jackson State. I get it. They had really good players, and I mean they were dominating. But I mean this is a bigger conference here, and it'll
This
possibly
ain't
be
about
more.
Prime.
This will possibly be more competitive. I mean everyone's hyping him up just because Coach Prime is the coach. Okay, I mean I get it. The players are good, but
But that's not who I'm scared of. I'm scared of Shadir Sanders. I hope I'm not butchering that name. And Travis Hunter. Those dudes are crazy. Both absolutely crazy.
I mean, but they were playing in like a smaller conference. This is the Pac-12. This is a Power Five. Look, okay, the
they
bottom of
went
the Power
12-1.
bottom of the Power
Bottom of the
Five.
Power 5, yeah.
But I mean, still, it's still a Power Five conference, so it's gonna be harder for Colorado and Sanders and Hunter for them to dominate because I mean this is a bigger conference. It's gonna be a little harder. It's gonna be more competitive, and we'll see if they can handle it with the bottom of the Power Five. Oh boy. We'll see. We'll see what happens though.
Yeah.
Jacob and I
Wait.
will we agree to disagree.
Can you run me down the Power 5 conferences again? Because I always get them mixed up.
SEC,
ACC,
I'll
SEC,
let Josh do it.
Pac-12, Big 12, and Big 10.
Yeah,
ACC.
that's Clemson.
Yeah.
Just
Honestly,
Clemson. That's it.
It's all Clemson.
honestly, or and UNC kind of. Meh.
I mean, it's all Clemson. Clemson is basically their representative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. At this point, I feel like Pac-12 is better than the ACC, but so I would
Maybe.
say we're the bottom dogs.
We are
ACC 's
on the
bottom.
lower half though. We are on the lower.
We're
half.
the bottom dogs, not because we suck, but also because of West Coast bias. Because of that,
Oh, yeah.
that's why
East
there's
Coast
nobody
bias.
coming
East Coast
here.
bias.
Or sorry, East. Well, what? I mean, either one works. I mean,
Yeah,
in
I
a
mean-
positive or negative way. But yeah, it's just. I mean, other than USA, like we just pick up people, and we have this season. We actually got really lucky.
Yeah, there were a lot of players who they were able to pick up. So that was pretty nice. Great job by Killen DeBoer.
Mhm.
So I mean that's our college football debate. I don't think we need to worry about Colorado yet. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Maybe
I think
they
they're going to be a boomer bust team. I think
maybe
it's either going to
yeah.
be.
I think they're
high.
gonna bust. I think they're gonna bust. Jacob thinks they're gonna boom. Josh is like in between. He's like, I don't know. Oh my god, that was so awkward.
What?
Jacob's just trying to do the eyebrow. Yeah.
The
Okay.
rain.
Josh, Seattle Kraken, quick update. What's going on over there? I mean, they're as we're recording, they're in the game up 4-2, but as the record shows, they are 19-12-4. How's it going?
Wait, they're four. Oh wait, what? They're four. What? What? Just okay. Sorry. They were against the Oilers that beat them 7-5 or 7-2 in this past week. A loss against the Flames, and then a win against the Islanders this week that has sent the Kraken to fourth place, so out of the playoffs for the first time since almost the start of the season. Yeah.
They're in wild card at the moment.
Wait, what did you say?
They're in the wild card at the moment.
Yeah, but not in okay. They're in okay waters right now. But Grubauer was really the main reason why we got like completely battered by the Oilers. Though there were so many times where it was just there was defenders left open and wide open shots that Grubauer couldn't even save. There was no defenders in sight as well. So like another overall defense thing that has screwed the Kraken over. Though we'll see it. Hopefully the Kraken win this by the time this gets uploaded.
Mhm.
And then against the Maple Leafs and the Senders to start their 7-game road trip, including a back-to-back next week.
Yeah. Josh, I have a question for you. When is Drager gonna be back? We've been waiting for that man to finally hop off the IR. So when is he predicted?
I have no idea, but I don't. If he is going to be back, I mean, unless we see some, because I feel almost the entire Kraken fan base kind of hates Grubauer because he's been horrible recently. But unless we see some further negative play by Grubauer. I think Drieger is just going to be because I think we can only hold 2 goalies on the roster if I can remember correctly. So that would send Drieger either down to the AHL, the minor league with the Coachella Firebirds, or just cut.
Cut Drager.
Yeah.
At this point, I don't know if we even need Grubauer. I mean, I know he was a top pick in the expansion draft. He's been playing great before he joined the Kraken, but if he's just gonna be like this bad, what's the point of even keeping him? Like, how old is Martin Jones? He's 32. Let me check Grubauer. How old is Grubauer? 31. Yeah,
So
I
they're
don't know
like
if we
the
Yeah.
same age.
Or
we could cut one of those guys. I think Drager's better than both of them. From the little hockey I've seen, Drager has been a better goalie.
I
Well,
mean, that little
I mean-
hockey you might have seen could have been like, a good day.
last season,
A
yeah,
Drieger's
or a
good
good
day.
game.
We'll see.
I've been
I mean,
to I've seen like 5-10 games.
I
but
mean, we know hockey
yeah.
hockey goalies, especially the Kraken, are really inconsistent. So we'll see what happens there.
But I don't think you can really take the risk like here, especially if Drieger's coming off an injury, and that would mean having to play Martin Jones, just like Justin as Drieger's recovering. And we're going in these next 2 weeks, we're going to have 2 back-to-backs in 2 weeks. That's going to be tough. We can't have Martin Jones playing both games, both days in such a short amount of time.
Well, I guess we just hold Grubauer until something happens, or if we drop Grubauer and then JJ gets injured again, maybe pull someone up from the Firebirds. I mean, I just don't think Grubauer is the answer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with the way the fans have been voicing their opinions, yeah, Grubauer is not really what they think is the right choice. So that'll wrap up this episode. One of the things we talked about was a little rough, and we didn't it was just not something that we were expecting. But I think a really nice thing about the Damar Hamlin situation was, all the NFL teams really changing their profile picture to his jersey. So that was really nice. It was cool to see, class act from all teams. Jacob, listen a minute. What you got? You're muted. I mean, we can't hear you.
Oops.
Hurry.
Just want to give a quick shout out to Donovan Mitchell. He dropped 71 points last night. Big game. Also to Luka. He's been playing phenomenal this season, but that's the most points scored by someone since Kobe scored 81. Donovan Mitchell balling out this season, but that's all I gotta say, Martin.
All right, nice stuff. Josh, you got something to say really quick?
Yeah, really quickly. Forgot to mention, Kraken are getting to Winter Classic next year at T-Mobile
That's
Park.
nice.
Let's go.
All right.
See you guys.
See you
Bye.
guys.